inside. The old gods granted me a vision of the way to change reality. In the shadows creeping, can't rest your weary head. No time for you to sleep now, or evil it will spread. So gather all your friends and listen to my tale. Adventure story shaping the magic and the veil. Dragons, devils, demons, and creatures that I fear, and heroes of the north. Just please don't be scared. The heroes are the monsters to the enemy. It all depends upon the way that you perceive. Original GM, we're here to set you free. Come join in the adventure. Who you wanna be? Who you wanna be? We are we are
Welcome back to Original GM. I am Pumpahu, once again joined with Chikala and Wachi, and we're continuing the series of Heaven Has Fallen, or Heaven's Falling. We still haven't decided, but we will. You'll see it in the title somewhere. Yeah. So let's see. Let's just get right into it. When last we left you guys, Erez was by herself with the children.
Yes.
Everybody was doing different things. Lily was reading some books. She's going to spend 4 of the 5 hours left reading those books, correct? So you have about an hour left after that. I'm going to say that you spend a lot of time with the children.
Okay.
That time kind of overflows with a lot of this. I know there's some other things that need to be taken care of with you as well. Velia, Ray, Vay, you concocted this thing that's had Lily just as busy as can be since you gave it to her. Vay talks to the two of you about, coming up with a plan and all that stuff that you guys did, and you're talking about the family and all of that. And he seems to be very excited about going to the cult of Tiamat, going to Aeon Zul. The more he talks to you, he tells you this is going to be a place for us to rub our elbows, really get to know who we are in society, or who we can be in society. So let's continue to keep that in mind, he says. And that's the kind of the feel that he's giving you.
Moving up in the world.
Erez, I'm going to go to you for a little while.
Okay.
And then we're going to cut you out.
Yeah.
And you won't be here for the rest of the game unless something happens or whatever. You never know what can take place. But we're going to start with you.
Okay.
You're sitting there with the kids, and Alex telepathy Zira and tells Zira that the armor's ready.
Okay.
Would you like it delivered?
Yeah.
We'll have it brought to the hero's headquarters shortly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So Erez,
Okay.
what do you do?
I'll telepathy Alexandria
Okay.
and tell her that I'm ready.
Okay.
I'll telepathy the Alexandria and tell her that I'm ready.
You ready?
I am.
Come to the sanctuary.
Okay. She'll look at the kids and tell the kids, I'll be back here after a little bit. There's some things I have to go take care of. She'll hug them both.
They hug you. Zirin seems to have chilled out a little bit since his sister berated him about it.
Good.
Okay, so you jet.
Yeah. Go to the sanctuary.
Okay. Everything's closed off when you come into that sanctuary. Curtains are all closed shut. You have to open a curtain to walk into the sanctuary, and there are priests and golems guarding the entrance there between the two temples.
Goodness.
Come up, the priest opens the curtain, and you go through and go in. Alexandria's in there. She's standing at the altar in the center of the room, and all the curtains are closed to the alcoves. The curtain to the front door is closed and everything. She says, welcome.
Thank you.
This is not a gift to Nira, for your children have already been that day. We have been honored to help raise them, and it seems now that they suddenly have come of age. I know that is a different subject than why you have come, but I must say to you that there's a lot for those children to learn before they're let out into the world. I know that they are Neo, but I also know that they are other things.
Yeah.
As much as they may think they're ready, they're probably not.
They don't know nearly enough.
Nira has had an alliance with Tiamat since the beginning. She looks at you. We have not been in opposition. Everything is a means to an end. For a new beginning. The ring blade has been made. And she holds out this ring. You see the symbol of Tiamat on the front of it. Made from vulcanite. And symbol of Tiamat on it. That's all that you really see. If you look on the inside of it, you can see some ruins. And they appear with like a orange ember when you look at it and you're holding it. And they disappear as you start to go around it.
Really?
Yeah. And you feel the power of this ring. It is a artifact. Like you're holding it and you're like, wow, you can feel. You couldn't expect any less with something that was crafted with the soul of God.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Should we look at Alexandria and say I'm going to put this on now?
If you accept, it is the weapon.
I do. Put it on.
Okay. What finger do you put it on?
Oh goodness.
On what hand?
Right. She's got rings on, so let me look. Hold on. I should have known you were going to ask me that. To the right middle finger?
Okay. Well, ring finger, not middle. Or middle. Middle finger? Okay. All right. It grafts onto your finger when you put it on. You realize you can't take it off. Power surges through your body, and you immediately realize that it has 50% magic resistance. And it has the ability, you don't need to write that down, I got it all right down. written down for you. It has the ability to create a blade in your hand, and it's instantaneous by thought. And it can become any blade. You're not sure. You'll have to try it out to say that, to see what it looks like and what it does. But here's the item: the blade of the Dark Queen, or the ring blade of the Dark Queen. So before you read too much, do you want to invoke it and see what it does?
Yeah.
Okay, you realize as you're doing that you can make it any kind of sword you want to make it.
Okay.
What do you make it?
Kukri.
A kukri?
That's your specialization.
Okay.
Yeah.
It appears and it's just black flame and smoke coming off of it. It's not solid. You can actually see through it. Even in your hand as you're holding it, it's like you can see through to your hand. Barely feels like there's anything in your hand at all. There's no weight to it. Feel 12 empty chambers in it, and you realize that this thing is deadly. Very, very deadly. It's +6 sort of slaying. You can read about
like
the
an
detail.
arrow slaying?
It's like an arrow slaying, kind of, yeah. Read about it, because those things start to come to you as you're holding it.
Okay.
This is arrows, right? So make an intelligence check.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Come on. She made it!
You wonder if you could pull the kukri and if this would go around and it would be like 2 weapons that you were holding with your hand. Because it looks like it surrounds a weapon that's not there. But it is. You realize if you use it now, it'll work.
Right. But I could use it with my...
But you think you could put the kukri in your hand and then invoke the ring, and there would be 2 weapons in your hand that you would be swinging with.
That's nice.
And all those abilities are with it. You're also aware that you cannot touch Velia.
Yeah. I need to be
You
away
can't.
from her.
Yeah, you know.
Like, I can't touch her?
No, if
I can't
if
touch
the
her?
ring touches her,
Okay.
it will affect her with
Okay.
what's on there,
Okay.
and you know that.
That
Anyway,
sucks.
and-
Yeah,
and-
okay.
You're
As long
not
as
with
the-
you're not within 200 feet of her, so you can't
Feel her.
feel her. But you know that if you were, you could.
Okay. So it's just the ring can't touch her, not that I can't touch her.
Or the blade.
Or the blade.
Right. Like if you touch her with the ring hand and the ring accidentally touches her, it's just like, or if she holds it, or if you swing and hit her with it, or whatever, you know,
Whatever.
punch her with it, or whatever.
Whatever it might be.
And it's not just her. You realize it's any chosen one, and you know there are 3 of them. You can feel that knowledge within the ring that there are 3 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I read this?
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead. And you were going to ask Alexandria one other thing, and then we'll leave you there.
I was going to ask her if there was anybody that she knew or anybody within the temple that could teach me quick draw.
One of those Eastern arts. Yes, there is an instructor here. We can get you going on that, but it will take 3 sessions at least.
I have one already.
Oh,
She'd smile at her.
okay.
Yeah.
Very well.
Okay. Cool.
We can make that happen. All right, we're gonna leave.
Her.
There it is, right there. You got about an hour left when you're done, Lily. Everybody's pretty much gathered all their things together. People have tried the cloaks on and the masks on, looked in the mirror to see what they look like and everything. See what all it covers. And the way that they are, these cloaks are, it should cover everything. From the hood all the way down, except for the hands. part of the feet and the face, but the mask covers the face. The hood comes up, you know, where you can. It's built to go over armor, go over, you know, they're big.
Okay.
So everybody's trying them on and looking at them.
Okay.
James will show up with Aegean and with who else was it? My bad. Pages.
So Valley will go ahead and do that and try everything on, check on the OG, feed him, all of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Lily is going to telepathy Jamal
Okay.
first.
Hey.
Hey, I have an idea. I have a thought. And I don't have time to investigate it, but it might bear looking into. The whole situation with the gold,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So we know, or we think that we know, it's because of Ahmed, right?
Mm-hmm. Or Gold Star
So
and his death.
that his sphere is just sitting open.
Yeah, it would have been snatched right away, probably by Ahmed, his ally.
So it's not just sitting open. That was
That's probably why all the gold is gone. However, I have heard some information.
what?
There are rumors coming out of the Dwarven kingdoms that in the mountains down south there's still gold. The banks are moving, fluttering. We'll see what the Black Bank comes up with that. I don't really want to get involved with it. I also have a feeling that silver is going to become a high commodity. Something that is used, I shouldn't say a high commodity, something is used as gold once was.
What about gems?
I'm not sure where they will set currently, but I wouldn't think much different. They might go according to silver. So if they do it and it's 1 silver equals 1 gold, if that is the way that it ends up, the economy will boost. People will buy. People will spend.
Right.
And if I was to guess, I would say that the banks will be willing to give them as much silver as they had in the bank
In gold.
in gold. Or as much gold and silver. I think
Which
that's,
is a huge profit for the bank.
of course, 20 to 1, or no, yeah, more than, yeah, 10 to 1. Yeah, that's why I assume that's what they're going to attempt to try to do, to convince people that this is going to be a thing. But
Right.
right now the economy really doesn't matter with the war that's going on. It is what it is. King James just kind of stands off to the side with Aegean, and they smile at you guys. And
While Lily was reading her books, could I have read my that new necromancy book that Alex gave me?
yeah,
Yeah.
you could have. This is Zira, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She could read it in 10, 15 minutes. She thumbs through it. She knows the spells. She could get the spells up to 3rd circle.
Yeah, third
Yeah.
circle. And then I want to go pray.
Okay. Your spells. Okay. All right. You could have done that.
Do I need to roll?
For your prayer,
Uh-huh.
No,
No? Okay.
no, actually, I'll roll, but yeah, no. Bless you.
Thank you.
You're already being watched. So, yeah, is there anything else you guys want to do?
Armor up my
Yeah, the armor will get there.
abominations.
The armor will get there. Two soldiers bring it.
Nice.
Red Rider type soldiers, but they're not dressed like Red Riders anymore.
Nice.
They look more like mercenaries.
I'm gonna ask. Oh, sorry.
Fucking huge bags. This is a lot of armor. The two of them are sweating, you know.
Thank you.
Of course, they leave. You start putting them on your guys.
I'll ask Gordon to help me.
Gordon to help you. Okay, yeah, he can help you. Yeah. Two 9 foot, little 9 foot over. One of them's a little over 9 foot. One's at 9 foot exactly. You put this armor on them, and they just stand there and let you put it all on them. By the time you get it on them, and then you get the helmet on them, you can't tell they're undead. You can look at their hands, and if actually no, they're gloved hands with the armor. Yeah, you just can't tell they're undead when you look at them. You have to get real close to look up through the visors of their helms to see their eyes, but they don't look.
That's much better. Smile. Step back. Right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Zero's a
Much better. There we go.
okay. That takes a little while. You could have done that during that period.
Cool. Yeah, I'm good. That's all I wanted to do. I've got nothing else.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask Myra and Zira to come talk with me for a minute.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Zero, I'll go.
Yeah, well,
Go into our room
okay.
and close the door.
All right.
Um,
Am I in trouble?
no. I might need your help depending on what Myra decides. I have an idea.
Okay.
So,
She looks at Zira and then looks at you and kind of gets this weird look on her face, like.
Zero would laugh out loud. To break the
She's like,
tension.
what?
she'll pull out the four of the Grand Eternal ones.
Okay, she looks at it.
So,
You pull it out and the dragon's eye goes, looks at you.
It had stopped doing that.
Uh-huh.
It had stopped doing that. She said that out loud.
Looks at you.
She'll reach in her bag and pull hers out.
It does the same. So
That means the souls.
both of the orbs, the eye that you see is a red dragon.
it's not the one that was there before.
And when you're always holding them, you realize it looks like eyes of some being, like they're one's left and one's right.
Right. Like it's the same being watching us.
Yeah.
Oh, I know these orbs belong to Mira. I thought they did. That means that there's something. What was your point? She'll look at
You get an empathic feeling that you should bring these with you this evening to these orbs that you're holding. That it's important.
Well,
That's interesting that you pulled those out, I have to say.
now I'm not.
At now, too,
Yeah.
especially. Anyway.
Well, so the thing that I was thinking is that the main function of this orb is divination, and I can't use that. Like I've had
Right.
I've used it for its other abilities, like teleporting and healing and those kinds of things, but I just got to thinking about how I can't divinate And so this is kind of useless in my hands, and I was wondering if it might be something Myra would be interested in learning
Well, it's locked
with
to you.
teaching her.
It's locked to you until you die.
Yeah, and I can't use it, she says. I don't think.
That
I'm not a
one,
caster.
I believe that orb in specific is for a mage, right? I think, because I know this one is in specific for a cleric. So, like, if I weren't
Cleric.
a cleric, I couldn't use it.
Okay.
There's a price for those divinations, and I know I haven't really talked about it, but I'm sure that you can look at me and see that there's a difference in the way that I appear to others, and that's because of the price of the orb. Each time, you go through those 50 questions, something's given at the end of it, but something's also taken.
Because there's always a price.
Yeah. And I wouldn't want to see that happen to Myra.
Right.
So I'm glad you talked to me about it.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to just hand it to her without any kind of instruction, and I know that you've worked really hard to figure out,
Yeah.
how to get good answers.
If Myra picked it up, it wouldn't work. The only way it would work would be if you were dead and another magic user picked it up before you could pick it up again. But once you pick it up, it locks to you till you die. That's how it works. I'd like to know why I feel like it's important to bring these tonight too, if that's the case. I don't know. Come here.
Myra's like, does anyone else have one? I know Eris had one, didn't she? Or was it Gordon or you?
Those two orbs got used in the creation of Aquaman.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So those are the only two here.
I think. I don't know if anybody else has any. I don't think so. As far as I know.
No, Mal wanted one, but we never did get him one. I haven't felt easy about any of this.
Are the eyes still staring at us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought from the beginning that it's a trap. But what are you going to do? That was one of the reasons that I was thinking about the divination and asking questions.
Are
But
you
this
wanting me to
this
ask
is
questions?
obviously Tiamat's orb now. Or at
Well,
least the one.
The questions are always answered truthfully. So even if it is hers,
Yeah. I remember that.
yeah, it's always truthful. And I'm sure she would understand our.
Trepidatious?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I feel
Like, it wouldn't
like
be-
I'm not sure about it now that Lily said that. I am a little nervous now.
So maybe we should talk to everybody else and sit down and ask some questions.
I'm down
Okay,
with
so-
that. I think that's a great idea.
Agreed.
Look at the orb and say hello to it.
You hear a female voice and say to you, "Greetings. I look forward to seeing you this evening."
Greetings.
And it's a very beautiful voice that you've heard
Is it
before.
the one? It is.
It's Tiamat's one. It's the
The
redhead. Yeah. You recognize it. She's told you that's what. If that's who it is, that's who she told you she was.
The first time.
It's the same voice though.
Thank you.
We have chosen you as allies, and we will hold to that. much will be revealed and shown to you. But as always, the more you know, the more you're responsible. Understand that this is a choice. You are one of 2 chancellors that I have requested. The status of chancellor is the elite of the elite within the cult of the dragon, within the cult of Tiamat. I offer you to come. You should know that there are many cults. The 1, the 2, the 3, etc. This is a joining, an annual joining of them all. And you are most welcome.
Thank you.
The eyes are still looking at you.
So I didn't hear any of that, right?
No, that was in your head.
Yeah, even though she said it out loud.
Even though,
she responded.
yeah, she responded in your head.
Oh, I'm smart enough to know though if she said it out
Yeah.
loud, there's something going on. So she's
Yeah.
just sitting there saying,
The eyes are looking at her, both of them.
Thank you.
Take a little deep breath and look at them and tell her it's the one, the red piece of Tiamat.
Yeah.
She says they're looking forward to us being there tonight, and that I was chosen as one of 2 chancellors, which I guess is like the elite of the elite. I'm gonna guess you're probably the other one because of the orb. I don't know.
Wouldn't assume that. But
But this is the same meeting from when we were in the keep.
She
Is
says
it?
in your head again, now she says, you're one of the 2 from the new ones that will come. Each of you was given a rank and a status within the cult. No worship is required, only a need to fight Bahamut.
She'll repeat that out
That
loud.
shocks you.
Yeah, she'll repeat that out loud. She's a little stunned.
Well, you know her to be lawful, so
Tiamat?
yeah.
She's lawful?
Yeah. First plane of hell.
I guess that makes sense. I don't know why I always thought she was chaotic.
Even with all our troop movements and the way the city's built, and you know, they all have a job, and it's very lawful. Very lawful.
So, it seemed like we don't need to worry.
Right.
It seemed
See,
that way. See what happens.
we should.
I hope
we should communicate with the others though
You
about
know,
this.
we should. She'll put her orb up.
Okay.
She'll look at her and she'll be like, so there's something else I need to tell you.
I will wrap the orb and put it back in the bag.
Okay.
And she'll look at Myra and be like, don't judge me.
Do you need me to leave?
No, just
Okay.
don't judge me. She'll look at her.
I can't promise that. She just looks at you.
She'll look back at Lily. She'll be like, so. She'll take the cloak off.
Okay.
The one-sided cloak. She'll take it off and be like, so I put this on and I manicured the hand and I did some things because he asked me to. Right?
The hand.
Yeah, it's intelligent. He's very, very intelligent. If you look, and she'll kind of hold out her arm, like it, Do you remember where I got my arm cut off at?
You do. It's shorter than like it was down here,
Yeah.
It grew after I did
and it's
that.
now it's almost her elbow.
So it's slowly trying to take you over.
So I think as long as I don't make myself look like him, I should be good. Doing things like putting the cloak on like he asked and yeah, carrying my hand. Allowed him to grow. I just want to be honest with you about what's going on. I think I got it, but you know.
I'll start paying attention.
She'll look at Myra. I need to tell Gordon too. I haven't told him. So, yeah.
All of us paying attention to it would probably be the best way to go.
Yeah.
Get rid of his stuff. How did you get his stuff?
It's not his, it was just his idea. I got it from David.
Okay.
I didn't know. You know, yeah.
Who the hell would guess that?
Yeah, I don't, it seemed harmless.
It looked good, Myra said.
Yeah, right? Didn't it though?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It did.
It did.
She looked like a badass. He's got good taste in clothing.
He does. That's not the point though.
True. I wonder if you decided to do it for you and not for him, if it would be different, or if that's already a thing.
I don't know.
Like,
Probably
you know-
because I already know.
This just sucks. You can never wear it like that because you want to.
Well, I guess I could probably change the color or something. It'd be different.
Maybe that would work.
Or
I don't
maybe it's
know.
the way
Maybe
I
it's
think of it.
dangerous to even be thinking this way. I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
Just steer clear of it altogether, right?
Goodness. All right. Well, let's go back out there and tell everybody what's going on with the orbs.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you know you got about 30 minutes left before you guys got to start heading. Tuffy has come in while you guys are in there. Tuffy comes in. Everybody's gathering their things together and everything. And you guys come back out if you're done with that.
I'm gonna put a hold portal out of my staff on my chest.
Okay. All right. No figures.
Well, I never did
a
that.
simple knock spell.
Well,
Or wizard lock.
Myra sidetracked me and I forgot to do all of that stuff last game.
Okay.
So she would open it and make sure everything's in there.
Right.
Nothing's missing. And then do a hold portal out of the staff because the fucking knock spell didn't work downstairs. I used a knock
You mean
spell.
wizard
Yeah,
lock.
wizard lock, sorry.
You know what you should have done?
Didn't work.
You
Kids
should've-
still got in and out.
You
there.
should have had Eras do her area of effect wizard lock.
There you go.
That'd have been some fun shit. You'd have walked down there and found somebody stuck to the floor.
Right. That would have been funny.
Most everybody's gathered here, even though not everyone's going. Okay.
Okay.
Just a second. Okay, so Jamah's here as well. You see him there. This is, yeah. Yeah, everybody's pretty much there. Temporarily. Currently. Head and Gorgain will ask what's going on. What are you guys doing? Where are you going? Tuffy answers him. He says, well, we're reporting them to Warkeep. They're going to some kind of peace treaty, he says. And that is like, oh, I thought we already were allies with them. Want to talk details?
No, it's some kind of gathering of Tiamat's cultists.
What?
Which I actually just learned that
He kind of looks at Gorgain like, he's like,
I guess that there's a different cult for each head. For each color, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5, each of her heads.
okay.
And this tonight is all of those coming together.
And you're going there.
Yes. We'll be okay.
If I could put you in my pocket and take you with me, I would.
I need a minute, he says, and he turns and he walks towards the front door. Go with that. Gorgain's like,
Is he gonna be alright?
yeah, there's some choices being made that he doesn't agree with, and there's nothing he can do about it. He'll work through it. He'll work through it. I hope.
Should telepathy Lily? Is he like Suri gonna tell him the conversation?
Yeah. Yeah. So, when we were in there talking just now, we realized that our orbs are now, we're now able to communicate directly with Tiamat through them.
Gorgain nods, and Gordon goes, of course you can.
And yeah, she is the one that told me that information.
We got about 30 minutes, so might as well get this over with. You see him shape change into a new outfit with antlers. He looks completely different. Looks like he's a soldier, dragon high lord of Tiamat. He's got medals on him and everything. It looks kind of like that. He's got a bow on his back. And he just kind of turns and looks at you guys, and it looks familiar. You're not sure.
What?
He's, how would he say it?
Is that player
He
knowledge?
says, this is Grand High Lord Beacon Vengeance. Gordon says, this is who I was. He looks terrifying. He's got like these antlers that come out more than on that picture, he's kind of dressed semi-samurai, semi-ranger. It's really strange looking. Dusty kind of looks at you guys like, it looks familiar. His outfit, you've seen him before. You don't remember where, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's anyone that went in Warkeep.
I think I know.
Okay. What do you say? You say anything?
No.
Okay. You don't say anything? Okay.
Because I'm not sure.
Mhm.
You feel me, but I
Right.
think I know. Yeah. She'll telepathy. No, she won't actually. She's still looking. I'm just looking at him, right?
So I'm gonna just
Does he have?
other
Does
than-
he have?
Other than you, I'm gonna let it pass. Nobody else. It looks familiar, but then you're just like,
Can I see any arrows on him?
yeah.
What do they look
They're in
like?
his quiver. You can see
Are
see
they-
black fletchings coming out, but you can't really see the arrows.
Mm.
If you walked up and looked in it, you could.
Right, that's quite obvious.
Mhm.
Lily will say something. She'll be like, why do you look so familiar right now?
He reaches and he pulls an arrow out. You see a black and white striped arrow.
Really?
Does that look familiar?
Yeah, that's one of the arrows that killed Lily in Warkeep.
He nods. Or you could look at it like it's one of the arrows that woke her up. Damn featherfall almost ruined it all. Head goes, or Gorgon goes, you were the archer inside the war keep. And he like gets kind of all puffed up and he's like, yes, I was. What the fuck, Gordon?
He was trying to get us out. He was trying to get us out.
He knew that if he killed me, I would go back and use the door choices.
Gordon looks at you and nods. You can't see his face because it's covered in this horrific, demonic-looking mask of a samurai. He's like,
He knew what I would do. He knew that I wouldn't leave you guys there.
something I've been holding to tell you about for a while, but there was no point in telling you unless there was a point.
Yeah.
It was a year. You were all gone for a year. I had to do something. How do you think I knew where the mirror was in Anzul? Needed to happen. I shot others too, but it just didn't.
Missed.
Yeah, it just missed.
She really missed.
Yes. You're very difficult to hit as a group. Working together. It is what it is, Lily. It wasn't killing you, it was waking you up, and I still see it as that. I meant no harm to you. Actually, the opposite.
I'm not mad.
Gorgain seems to be a little perturbed. You can tell he looks a little bit upset about it. He didn't quite get it, you don't think? Like he's not catching on completely. Everybody else just being quiet. Everybody in the room just goes real quiet.
Zero would look at Gorgain and be like, if he hadn't have done that, we wouldn't have known how much time was passing outside. And who knows how long we would have stayed there.
James would walk up, King James, ex-King James, and would look at Gorgain and say, he did lots of things that I agreed with, things that we had to do. He's looking up at him. They weren't necessarily good, but they had to be done. Gorgain looks at him. He's like, it's difficult to lead, I understand. He looks at Gordon and nods at him, kind of like, okay, you know. And the dragon I ride, he says to everybody, he doesn't laugh, that's the DM.
He says what?
And the dragon I ride, the hallowed one, is the one that destroyed our village of corn. But it was not with me on it. It was not by my command. It was long before I became his rider. The hallowed one follows me now. There's no need to worry. We have at our disposal an ancient red dragon that can turn things to ash. Destroy whatever comes across its path. But I'm not the only one. There are others. We will need this when up against the Bright Lord. I only feel guilty about one thing that's taken place, if you want to know the truth of it all. Birthing Baphomet. Baphomet's egg first. That is what I feel responsible for. Even after everything I had done and everything I had gone through, I still thought Baphomet would be better. And I made everything turn to ash because of that decision. So I'm responsible for Monarch, for Beacon, for all of it. It's me. I birthed the egg. I made the bad choice. Even though everything within me told me to do it the other way, I didn't. because I knew you all would be disappointed. But how were we to know?
Well, that was a group choice. That was a group decision. I don't feel like that burden is yours alone.
No, it's not.
I wanted to birth hers, but I knew that that would be the end to many friendships. We would have big problems. I didn't want that. But here we lie now with this. He changes back to himself. He's like, I do not think I'll be going this. That visage.
0 to telepathy him when she's looking at him and be like, next time just tell me. You should know by now that I'm not going anywhere. And that you can just tell me if you need to make a decision like that. How much do I trust you? Gonna.
He telepathies back to you. He's like, if it would have never been known and I would have spoken, it would have caused an issue that didn't need to be caused. That's the only reason I didn't speak of it.
From now on.
I cannot control all of you and how you will react. I'm happy that you have not reacted in a completely negative way.
For me, I had just talked to Tiamat through divinations about 2 hours before you did that.
He looks at you, everybody else kind of turns and looks at you like, huh?
I told you guys that.
I don't remember that.
In Warkeep.
Board games.
I told you guys that.
Oh, in Wardkeep.
Yeah?
I thought you meant a moment ago.
No.
Ah. About that point, Hedda comes back in. Sorry, I had to get some air. You see,
Okay.
put his pipe up. Whatever needs to be done, we'll do it. We always have. We'll do it as a group. Doesn't matter. If we change, we all know one another. The deep heart, the seed of what it all is, we know one another. You see Gordon kind of turn and look at him like, isn't that appropriate for him to be coming in and saying that right now? I know I don't agree with everything you decide, but my choices are based in many things. And by the gods, I'm a hero of the North. And I'll be your friend till the end. Like always.
I love you so much, Hedda.
Ah, the love is equal. I can't imagine living without you, Lily. So, do what we gotta do.
That's right.
You figure out
As
how to
Ray,
make
when all that was going on, I'm with her getting dressed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bailey and Ray.
Are
Okay.
you crying?
Shut
Is Lily
up.
crying?
Got her.
Lot of history with Hedda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. I lost it. Oh, that's what it was. I've got to figure out how to make you little and put you in my pocket and take you with me.
He smiles. Well,
Damn it.
Large.
I don't know.
Right, but that only does like half. She's thought about that.
Really thought about it. Like really thought about it.
Yeah.
She can make him. She can make him 2.5 feet, but
Yeah.
put him in a bag of holding. Speak of things you know not of. Try it. You guys never been brave enough to try anything like that.
No.
Climb in a bag of holding. Go ahead.
Yeah, no.
So Hedda says, "I'll hold the fort down, love. Me and Gorgain got everything under control." David comes walking in the room, and you see he has a robe on with a mask in his head. And he goes, "That would be good, because it looks like I'm going to."
Interesting.
I would never miss a great symposium, a ball, a dance, an evening of fine romance, or anything where there are people with lots of money and power that I can smooch with. Luckily, I've been a member of the Cult of the Dragon for a long time. He says, I know, I'm a bitch. I know. Fuck me, bastard, son of a bitch, whatever you want to call me. We're all friends. We always have been. It doesn't change a thing. I still feel the same way I do. I hope it's okay. Gordon kind of looks at him. He's like, yes, it's okay.
Oddly enough, I'm
Head-
not even surprised.
Hedo's got one eye real
Right?
big like that. He just like goes,
You'd think I'd be surprised, but oh,
so, let me fill you in before we go. And I probably have a way for us to go. Probably won't need Tuffy. You can only get us about a mile from the city, right? And I am not walking all of that way. Tuffy's like, yeah. He's like, I could get us close. Like, really close.
Like within the workie.
Like, within Anzu.
nice. Cool.
It's all done, so it's ready. It's in my room. The portal.
Oh, right.
Lily,
You guys ready?
with the recent knowledge that you have, you know that's Conjuration Summoning affiliate. You know it's gate technology, portal technology, which would have required a lot of time, and it's permanent. You would realize whatever is there is permanent until dismantled. Like it's going to be a structure inside the Hero's Keep that goes to
Anzu.
Anzu.
And it'll be open both ways.
Well, yeah, unless she's got it somehow protectors, you're not sure. But with your knowledge, you would know that. Other people just think, oh, portal, and they go on. But you, now that you have that knowledge, he's more than he seems, for sure.
So,
I had to stop for a second. As a DM, I feel really bad with all these bad NPCs that might are coming out of the woodwork. Yeah, that's not terrible though, right? It's not, you're not,
we're not exactly good.
yeah, you're starting to learn exactly the heroes of your own stories, what you are. So let's go. Heroes.
She was gonna say something.
So, do you intend to lock this gate once we go through?
It's activated by crystal technology. You must know the combination. And the other side does not have a combination. So it's a one-way gate.
So we can only go. We can
Yes, we'll have to find our own way back. I'm sure we'll work that out. In the past, I just went to a colleague's house and they were able to get me out of the city rather quickly, and I could use magic to go where I needed to. We could do that, maybe. Be interesting. It kind of goes like that. Yeah, we'll see. Let's do the meeting first. Nothing to worry about except for that things take place after these meetings sometimes, because there are people who would disagree, and if they know your identity, there's this. You want to stay as hidden as possible, which brings to mind the fact that I could come and very easily do that with all of you.
Can you? Because even with the robes, you would say you can tell who I am.
What happened?
It was an accident.
He pulls a wand out, comes up to you, and touches it, changes it.
Nice.
What are you thinking?
Me.
You're thinking that it looks like you,
Mm-hmm.
and that he's changing it to look like you?
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't change. He's like, you see him kind of look at the wand and look back at you. Accept this spell.
Okay.
Touches it,
I do.
it changes. You look at it?
No.
Okay. You don't look at it. You look over at it, it's changed. It looks like a normal hand right now.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, he will go around and change items, appearances, and things like that. If you guys need him to do that on anything.
As he's doing that, Lily is going to telepathy Zira, Myra, and Gordon
Okay.
and tell them that David is definitely playing with conjuration, summoning magic. It was the only way that he could have built that portal.
David's a mage. Well, I guess that makes sense.
He's a lot more than what he appears to be, which we kind of always knew that, but I feel like I need to tell somebody.
Okay.
So there's an
Thanks.
awareness outside of myself about it.
No, for sure.
Tatalda walks up to him. Excuse me. Yeah. He kind of looks at him. Would you do me a favor? And he's like, of course. What is it, dear? I would like for you to create a room for me with all the things that you have that I can access myself without your help. I'll be doing all my own work. He's like, oh, I'm not sure how to take that. And she goes, well, take it like the 20 million gold that you stole from Eris for selling the music without her knowing in the lower plane. And she's like, or his eyes open up. He goes, well, it all goes towards, it's the city's money. It went towards all of that stuff. She goes, of course, dear. We'll just kind of keep it on the low down. She doesn't need to know, but maybe you should gather some of that money and pay a little bit back later. She's gonna find out eventually.
She knows out of game. She knows already.
I know.
I just forgot.
You see her kind of looking, and she's like, well, or he looks at her and he said, well, I can take care of it. That's not a problem. It's all for the benefit of all of us. I use that money for things that help the heroes of the North and have since the beginning. She goes, oh, I trust you. I just need those things, if you don't mind. And she goes, well, you don't have to blackmail me. I'll do it. She goes, oh, I'm not blackmailing you. That would be a racist thing to do. She kind of looks at me. He's like, oh, I wasn't saying, He kind of looks down for a second. You see her get this evil grin and just kind of walk away. And she says, you can put him in the living room over here and I'll take care of it and get it to my room when you can. He's like, very well. He turns and walks out of the room.
Wait, I thought we were.
He just keeps walking.
I thought we were leaving.
He tells us, like, we've got time now. If he's taking us to the inside, then we have time. She sits back, drinks some wine.
Oh, Zero would look at
That
her
was
and be like, where's her?
She says in here, oh, I know, dear. I just want to see how he reacts. I want to know how much of the spying that he's been doing on us is for us and them. She says that in your head.
Love you.
Besides, I'm an assassin and I could use those things to great advantage
Oh, for sure.
for the whole guild.
Mm,
She nods at you.
nice.
Gordon is like, I don't know what's going on, but I know that could be very useful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Help us out. Help us all out. He kind of says that and it echoes down the hall. You know, David heard him. James is like, so Aegean.
I forgot he was here.
Yeah, Aegean said that we should prepare ourselves to be speaking with beings of great power. I'm a little nervous about it. I know you are too, probably. So he kind of steps forward. He's like, so I just wanted to say that if these things are showing up now and our kingdom has had these things going on for so long and we haven't fallen, and now that we know and now that we're making connections with the people that we thought were our enemies, our chances have changed a great deal as far as survival and doing what is best for mankind. and I'm proud of each of you. You see Hedda kind of smiled. He's like, and I know that sometimes you got to go down a certain path to keep things straight. And, you know, I believe that that path is with you guys. And I believe we're all on that path together. And so, know that we all feel nervous, even me. And he nods. But we'll get over it. Once it happens, once it starts, it'll disappear. Be careful what you say, and know that there are people of great power there. And he turns and looks at Agent, and Agent's like, kind of nods at him, like he wrote it.
Yeah, that was fucking adorable. That was so
And he
cute.
kind of steps back a little bit, and then goes over, and you see him kind of like, oh, like, and you realize he was going to sit in a throne.
He was, yeah. No, I
And
saw
that was his like safe place, kind of. And there's no throne. He goes and walks over and stands next to Agent. See him drop his mask and he leans down and picks it up.
Poor James. He's fucking going through some shit. He's used to being king. No.
So yeah, he comes back, brings the stuff for Tatalda and puts it over in the corner and everything. And Tatalda thanks him and goes over and starts looking at it. And you see her start putting things in bags of holding. She goes, it'll only take a moment. She gets that done. She goes and sits back down, and Gordon's like, well, I guess we should go, David. He goes, oh, yes, of course, up to my room, he says. It's like he's forgotten all about it. Goes upstairs, takes you guys up into his room, and you walk in, and you see these white stone blocks that go up into a arch doorway. And you can see through it into the bedroom. It's just sitting in the middle of the room. You see a gemstone that's about this big around, that's green on the bottom left, and then an orange one, and then a red one, and then a purple one. And he walks up to it and kind of turns to you guys. Boom, boom, boom. They all light up as he touches them, and he just goes in a circle around it. And then he goes and kind of shines a reflection of you guys for a moment. And you see a street that you recognize not far from Aeon Zul.
Masks on.
Okay. Yeah, everybody starts putting their shit on. So where this palm tree is right there is where it's at. And it's right, like, almost under the palm tree.
Okay.
In a safe place. Okay?
Okay.
Alright. Everybody starts gathering and you look behind you and the portal is still there, and he says, we could come back through this way, but I have something planned to shut it after we're all through. Should I do that? We don't want to leave this open, right?
No.
Okay. He pulls out a tuning fork and rings it, and you see it close. Lily, from recently reading those books, you know that tuning forks are used for planar travel. Like, you can attune tuning forks and vibrations within certain places to transport people from one place to another with the plane shift spell.
So you could just use the tuning fork.
Yeah, you think. And plane shift with it. You're not sure how I close the gate with it, but you know that they're used for that kind of thing. Yeah, building some tension. Gordon, go ahead, building some tension up. Gordon just starts walking at that point. He says, come with me. David kind of looks at him like, huh? Oh, you know the way? And he goes straight to this first tower. And as you guys come out and you see the streets, you see cultists all over the place in groups with part of the Dragon Guard standing next to them, and those large beings with the robes on.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes you into that first tower.
Tell Myra not to get away. Stay right here. Stay close.
She says, fuck yeah, I'm right with you. And there's several of you. So Ray, Valia, Gordon, Zira, Vay, Havoc, Lily, Myra, Dusty, King James, and Jamal. Quite the group. And when you come to the doors at that first tower, and these are like temple complex towers, they're beautiful. You've seen them before, but they're spires that go way up, and they're intricately designed and all lit up with magic lighting in different locations, including the front door. When he comes to the front door, it opens, and there are 2 dragon guards standing there, and they're red. They're dressed in red, full plate. They open the doors, and Gordon goes right on in. And when Gordon goes by, they both salute him. And Gordon continues past them and goes to a staircase. It's just going down. They don't salute anybody else. I don't think. Nope. Not yet. I don't know shit. Everybody's in their masks and everything, but they still salute him. You're not sure how they knew, but they do. Anyway, you go down and you go deep into Aeon Zul. Instead of getting off in the area where you guys had gotten off before, Gordon continues to go around the staircase, and it comes to another door hidden around the shadowy area of the staircase. Opens it up, and it continues to go down, and a spiral, and then comes into a hallway that enters into a cave-like complex. I would say that the place is close to 300 feet in circumference. Massive.
Huge.
Meaning that the ceiling of the place is some 300 feet up at its peak.
Oh goodness.
And the walls just gradually go up to that. They're cavernous walls. The floor is cavernous. The floor has carpeting that has been laid out, though, as a pathway with braziers that are lit up, creating a pathway that goes into this room. And you can see into the room as you're coming into this hallway. The hallway's about 30 feet at its peak. So when you get to the end of it, you do see some cultists standing right there with their robes on. And past them, over 100, you can't guess, but there's over 100 people milling about with cloaks and those masks on. The center of the room has 9 orbs sitting on pedestals, and those orbs are glowing. And you recognize them. They're the orbs of the Dragon's Eye. And there's 9 of them there. Gordon kind of... I'm sorry, 8. 8 of them there. There are 8 of them there because... Wait. My bad. 6 of them there. There's 6 of them there. Because you guys have 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's 6 of them there. And there are 6 other pedestals there as well that are empty. You know, 2 of the dragon orbs were used for each of the gods being brought back. And then you have 2. And the rest are here.
She has the Valk one, and
Yeah.
I have the Ariax one.
And the rest are here. They're all on their pedestals except for the ones. So it's like, you know, because you're holding these, that how many are left. Like, you know, but probably a lot of people in here too. Most likely. When you get up to the doorway to come in, it's obvious it's a female to the right and a male kind of standing right in the way. And he kind of moves out of the way towards her a little bit, like they're talking or something. And she kind of turns and looks at you guys as you come walking up. See orange eyes under the mask, glowing, very intimidating, almost like Nira, like,
Yeah, that's
like
what I
it
thought when
fucking
you
freaks
said
you out a
that.
little bit. And in a very calm voice you hear, more coming. This will be an interesting evening. Greetings, she says to you.
Greetings.
Your hand, Zira, kind of moves a little bit and closes tight, and he's like, oh, that is a being of great power. She could probably control me. Yes, I believe she can. At that point, she looks at Zira and then looks down at your waist. She's like, and then moves her eyes away from you over to other people.
Probably knows who I am now.
Velia, your ghost freezes for a second, and you like kind of slows you down, bogs you, and you see the same thing happen to Gordon. Up front, as you walk past this woman, it's like time slows for your ghosts, and you've got to push them through to get them away from her. Very comfortable. You get past them. Zira,
Yeah.
your two minions, the abominations, they stop. And you stop, you realize they're not coming. She kind of turns and looks at you.
In the cavern's not a mile, right?
No, it's not. You look in, you see people all mingling about, but you don't see anybody that's not wearing a robe.
Right. Oh. Okay, I guess I'll just leave him there. What am I gonna do?
I don't know, what do? You
Yeah.
just leave them, would you tell them to stay there? Or
Yeah.
do you say anything? Do you just leave them there? Because if you leave them there, they're still going to think that they need to protect you.
Right. I'll tell him to stay.
They drop their hands.
Are they right in the doorway?
They're, before you get in is where this is taking place.
Okay. I'll have them move off to the side and I'll tell them to stay.
Off to the side through the doorway?
No.
Because they can't move through the doorway,
Right.
they've stopped. So, okay, they move off to the side then,
Tell
up
them to
against
stay.
the wall, and they stand there. Okay,
Go in.
they nod. All right, you go in.
Because they don't have robes. I'm sure that that's it.
The sizes of the people in this room vary, with the largest being around 25 feet in height. Black robes, just like you guys, with a mask, just like you guys. He is the tallest, or she. You think it's a he, but you don't know. This individual doesn't have the cowl up. It has it pulled down, and it's long gray hair that goes wild all around him. No gloves or anything like that, so you can see that his hands are white, undeath looking color. And when you walk in, a lot of people look at you guys just for a moment and then look away. You do see his eyes, and they're glowing red like a vampire's. And then he kind of turns away from you and goes back to his conversation with someone underneath him. But they're 9 foot, 10 foot, 13 foot, 15 foot, 25 foot, 6 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot, 3 foot, 7 foot variations throughout the room. The smallest you see is 3 foot, where you're at. And yeah, you guys just kind of stand there in a group, and Gord just kind of looks back. He's like, mingle. Stay together, but mingle, and he kind of starts to move into the crowd a little bit, nods to the first person you guys walk past. It's a boy, man, male. About 6 foot, piercing blue eyes under the mask, just capturing eyes. Roll under your wisdom.
Yeah.
It's undoubtedly Sin. You've seen Sin before. His eyes are so recognizable that he can't even hide in this mask. When you look at him, you're like, ah, hey. And he looks at you and you see a recollection. He's like, so how are you? He says. He stops you like, Gordon stops when he sees that. He's like, he turns back, kind of comes over to you.
Good.
Everybody's kind of gathered in that area. Next to him, you see a masked individual look at you and the eyes are
This
just...
is at Terrain,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The eyes are just jet black. Looks at you standing next to him. Yes, have I introduced you to my protector? Dim, this is Valia, the chosen one, and this is Ray, her protector. He turns and looks over at Valia first, then at you, and just nothing but black eyes. It's so disturbing. So here's the picture. I'll show you the picture so you know what he looks like. And he says to you, we finally get to meet again, he says. And there's a whisper of 2 or 3 voices when he talks
Meet
to you.
again?
Yeah, yeah. There's 3 voices.
Again.
You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
3 voices?
Yeah, there's 3 voices that come out of it.
Ray would say again.
Yeah.
We've met before?
Yes. At a witch's cabin. You're like, whoa.
He was there.
Sin goes, yeah, there's a lot of people here tonight. He kind of changed the subject and Dim kind of nods at you. He's like,
Not at him. Oh, goodness.
he might have been the one that killed Valia's mother.
That's what Valia's thinking.
Almost had you. No, he didn't say. No, he didn't say that. He says a lot of people are here tonight. He says it's good. I'm glad that we are allies. I feel stronger now, for sure. 4 of us unite, the other side won't stand a chance. Kind of looks around with the others that are with you, and he's like, you can tell he's not sure who all is here. He knows it's not Doobie. He knows it's not Remy.
I think Lily's the only short one.
Dusty walks up, kind of stands there, and you see him turn to look at Dusty, and Dusty just kind of glances at him for a second, and then Dusty's like, kind of looks down, and he's like,
Ray will kind of, no, she won't put her arm around, but she'll kind of,
yeah. You see him kind of touch you, and you can tell he's dizzy. At that point, Vay kind of grabs his other arm, looks over, and goes, greetings. Looks right at this guy. He says, this is Dim, Sin says, my protector. He says, nice to meet you. You okay? Looks at Dusty and goes, yes, too many deaths. I saw too many deaths in him. You see Dim kind of Sin goes, yes, he carries a lot with him. In him. He's a good protector. Some would say they are good protectors. Seems to be different for you. You see Gordon starting to talk with somebody. It's about 6 foot. Person's about 6 foot male. He starts to talk to Gordon. Gordon talks back. So Zira,
Yeah.
Do you want to go up to that conversation and leave this one, or do you want to stay here and listen to what's going on here? And Lily, same with you? Or do you want to go another way, turn around and look? You do see that people are not right on top of each other. You know, there's spaces between. It's not like a crowd of people so tight you can't move through them. It's
Right.
spread out in groups of people.
Yeah, Zero will go with Gordon. Sure.
Okay. Greetings and salutations, you hear to Gordon, from the guy to Gordon, and you walk up to Gordon. Gordon, do I know you? He's like, yes, you do. Dr. Levin. He's like, oh, my.
And I hear that.
Yeah, you hear that when you walk up. So, Lily, you want to stay at that conversation? or
Yeah,
go-
she's gonna stay where she's at, but
With
she's
Bailey?
gonna start looking around the room.
All right. You see Myra like going like this. She's
It's like listening.
like she's hearing noise. You know, you see her like.
Yeah.
On conversations.
Good job.
Attempting it. So you stay next to Velia, is what
I
you tell me.
do.
Okay. So you and Myra are right next to Velia. Zira, you go over and Havoc will follow you.
Okay.
Vay stays with Myra and you guys. James and Jamal and Aegean are talking to somebody. Over by the front door, the man that was over there, they're talking to him. And the woman, you see her walking, and she's walking to another place. She's like walking away. And as she walks away, you see the doors just close from nowhere. You don't even see them, and then they're there. And she kind of walks around like she's going somewhere towards the center of the room. So you've been in the cult of Tiamat the whole time? He's like, yes, and you have worked for her. Or at least you did for a year, but you haven't in a while, right? Gordon kind of nodded his head. I was freed from servitude. He goes, oh, but you come back. Well, that remains to be seen. I don't believe it's going to be that way. He's like, of course, of course. Look, I know that we don't always see eye to eye, and that I've spoken so many times about our wonderful relationship being frenemy, but it seems now we should be allies, especially now that Beacon is ash, Monarch is ash. Warkeep will follow soon. I think we should all be working together. I believe Ares agrees with me. We should speak to her about it. You see Gordon kind of look at Zira.
Yeah, Zero. We can't.
Okay, well, you're not going to create any dissension between us no matter what's happened. And he smiles. Oh, that's not my goal. I'm just trying to prove a point that we all should work together. Gordon's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure that would be for the best.
probably, yeah.
This is the most awkward.
Maybe a time will come when you will offer something that won't look like a favor. He goes, oh, but I already have. Your very wife, the mother of your children, would not exist if it were not for me. Gordon's like, what? Zira,
Yeah.
roll into your intelligence.
I remember.
You already remember?
I remember.
Okay, what do you say?
Dr. Levitt was the one who gave her the ring of wishes.
Ah, yes. It was I.
He shoots me. He was the one who was responsible for giving me the ring.
Yes, it was I, Gordon. So, yes, I have already given a boon. More than one. But anyway, there are so many people to discuss things with and talk with. Such a pleasure seeing you all. kind of looks around like that and looks for Lily. You can tell he's looking for Lily, and he doesn't see her. He's like, until we see one another again. Looks at Gordon.
No.
See her, he says, whispers it and walks on. Meanwhile, as that's going on, you're listening to their conversation. So you're completely unaware that he's looking for you, which is a good thing because that's why I couldn't see you probably.
Yeah.
And Myra, Myra says to you, there are two things talking over there in the demonic tongue. And they don't look human, she says to you. You kind of glance over where she's looking towards. You see this deep maroon red demonic hand with black talons, and the individual is at least 13 feet tall in this cloak. He kind of stands like this, and you can see something pushing on the cloak that goes over his head like a crown. And he's just kind of hulking over there. Next to him, you see something that has scales on its hands with black talons, just like the other, but it's black and green, and a tail that's coming out behind the cloak that's green. Just standing there, and they're talking to each other. That's who she points at.
You're speaking in demon tongue?
Demon tongue. I don't know the tongues. You might know.
I'll try to listen.
Okay. Roll percentile dice.
I love that your dice match her hair.
Right. $35.
Does that make it?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay. You hear a female voice that you recognize, Glacier. And it's coming from the thing with the tail.
Okay.
She says, "No, Mephistopheles, you know that I can have nothing to do with that. You're such a charmer, but I would never, ever do anything that would be considered a betrayal to Asmodeus. Of course you know that." You hear, and she calls him Meph, not Mephistopheles. She calls him Meph. She's like, "Meph, you know." You hear, "Perhaps I should tell your father about your extracurricular activities." Well, if he would even listen to you. That doesn't work, dear. I get in trouble with my father all the time. It's no secret to him or anyone else that I despise him. Asmodeus, on the other hand, now he's a charmer. Be that as it may, we are not done with this. And he turns and starts walking away from her. She goes, "You smell so good this evening." And you see her just kind of skulk away from him, and he goes the other way. Meph, the snuff.
Walks away from her, yeah.
Feet from you.
Right.
In the same room.
Your heart, like your breath, like, whew, like you realize that he's on the prime. What the fuck? Something. This is crazy. Scary. Who else is here? Gordon gets approached by a small person. Seems to be female in stature. She starts talking to him.
I'm standing with him still.
You recognize Lily's mom.
Oh my god.
You recognize her voice. She's like, "Well, hello, how are you all this evening?" You're like, Gordon's like, good.
How are you?
Well, it remains to be seen what takes place this evening. Are you new? Gordon's like, yes. Where is she? Lily? Yes. Over there. And he points where Lily's over there, standing next to Myra. She's very well. Thank you. She walks past.
This is a trip, dude.
This little girl, short lady, walks up to you with a kind of a rough voice. You hear, I am the Jackal. It's a pleasure to meet you. You are Lily. You don't recognize that it's your mother. This is the Jackal, and you've heard about the Jackal.
And I just learned that the Jackal is my mom.
Yeah, that's right. You did learn that. I'm sorry, my bad. Okay, you did learn. And she says that with a rough voice. She goes, "You are Lily, right?" You kind of turn your head like
I smile. I just smile at her. Really?
she can't see it. I guess you know, don't you? She says in her mom voice. Goodness. Who gave it away? How long have you known?
A couple days.
A couple days, dear.
Not long enough to have come and talked to you about it.
It's much different now. Let me just say that. I don't do what I used to do. But my name carries weight,
A lot of weight.
and I can come here with it. And have for some time. Where do you think your father's got some of his information? She turns and kind of walks away from you and goes back into the crowd.
Fucking crazy.
Gordon, when you're standing there, he watches her go up, talk to her like you were standing there, zero watching, and he's like, he walks up. When she walks away, he walks up. All right,
Fucking up is down and down is
all
up.
right. I didn't know that one. He says to you. What did she say she was called?
She thought she was gonna trick me, and I already knew, so that was kind of fun.
I bet. Did she say she was the Jackal?
Mm-hmm.
Jackal.
Goodness.
Who's that? Do I have any proficiencies to
Just
tell
fixing
me?
to say I don't. I know very little. Very little.
Yeah.
Gordon says in your head, a well-known assassin. Also a well-known cat burglar. She did both. There are songs about her. You ask her, I bet she knows about the Jackal. And she's made us all food.
Lots.
Lots of times. So don't worry, if she were dead, we'd be
Oh,
dead.
no, for sure. That's, it was through telepathy. She's like, that's mom. Like, I'm not worried about it. That's just kind of crazy.
Am I the only one though that finds it ironic that her and my dad tried so hard to keep me away from that path? You guys remember, right?
I do. I do.
Remember the
You see,
hard time they gave me?
You see seats start to appear in a circle around this place from the stone. It just rises up where there's chairs. And you hear a amplified voice from the center of the room, that female with the orange eyes, say, "Welcome everyone, welcome. Please have a seat, please. Let us get started." And everybody starts splitting up and going to chairs. You guys try to get a group of chairs together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me see. So, two people are not going to be sitting directly next to you guys. There's somebody in between. When they sit down, you can try to get them to move, but there's 5 people in between on one side. And two people on the other side.
Okay.
Gordon walks up to him. He's like, "Do you mind if we have these 2 seats?" And it's a male, and then something that has hooves. With the thing pulled real tight to it, as it's getting ready to stand up. It stands up and it moves over, and so does the other one. And he goes, "Thank you, I appreciate it." And he sits down right there.
That's the bell.
So now you guys are all together. Everybody starts getting settled, and you're like looking around the room. You look over at one chair. There's a lot of chairs that are bigger because they're bigger people.
Mm-hmm.
Came out from underneath them, and the 25-foot tall being sitting in this massive chair in the circle. She's in the middle where the orbs are. As it is known that the cult of Tiamat has a group of counselors, chancellors, holders of the vote. And we know that according to prophecy, those that require and possess the ability to act upon the dragon's eyes are those members. Would anyone, and she looks around the group, like to bring an orb to the table, still under your control, still yours, but it will give you a vote? She looks around.
Stand up. I'll stand up too.
All eyes go on you when you stand up. Like everybody in the room is like,
Goodness.
you take the orbs up
Yeah.
and place them on the pedestals. She says, "Thank you." The two of you, as always, will be given a vote. From this moment forward, you must come with the orb to receive a vote. It is the prophecy. Is it not? And she turns and looks around, and the cult's like, all of us are nodding their heads. Presently there are 6 of you. Now there will be, presently there are 4 of you. Now there will be 6. No. Presently there are 6 of you. My math is bad tonight. Presently there are 6 of you. And now there will be 8. I'm not sure if we have anything to vote on this evening or not, but we welcome all our new members and thank you for coming. The cult of Tiamat is more than an organization that hopes to be a religion. You hear a couple laughs. It is an organization that has a plan to help the planet, keep it alive so that we may either manipulate it and keep it going, or devour it and replenish it. None of us here believe that it should just drop into chaos and destruction. We all have too many things, and she's just turning a circle talking, too many things for each of us that we do not want to lose. So we have come together with the cult of Tiamat to fight Bahamut, and she points to the direction of Bahamut. That is why we are here. Make no mistake, they are powerful, and we have seen what they are capable of. They will be coming to this city soon, and what happened there will most likely happen here. If that is the case, we have many ways to gather amongst ourselves and meet in a new location. The importance is that this plan does not leave, that we all continue to keep it together for our own personal reasons. Each of you that is present agrees with these statements. If there is a direct enemy to our dark queen, friend, and mother, Tiamat, please leave now. And she turns and looks around. Havoc looks over at you.
I don't know. She's smelling. So she's thinking,
We are not asking any of you, of course, as always, to follow this religious path, as many of you have religions of your own. Those that you started and those that you are members of. She looks around. We come with anonymity simply because to show our visages would be terrifying to many of us. The workings that we could do together would not happen if we are known. You could have moral and ethical implications, religious and spiritual implications, simply physical implications, because some of you smell bad. She looks around and there's some laughter, and you hear off in the distance a demonic growl and a big like like that. We come here today to gather and join the new members and let them know that they are welcome if they stand with our goals. And you may ask, what are those goals? Simply put, today we will tell you who your enemies are. We are all going to speak of this. Bahamut, the bright Lord, the One, as he calls himself. Mammon. She looks around the room. The disease and plagued Anthraxus, the Oino-Daemon. The Prince of the Abyss, Gralsitz himself. Yengu.
Yengu?
Yeah. Demogorgon. Lord of the Undead Orcus. That one brings some muffle. Yes, he is an enemy. We shall fear him no longer.
Religion?
Why fear this enemy?
Religion?
Okay, roll.
That's the first one I haven't recognized.
Really?
It's from the Abyss, right? Oh, I fucking missed it.
Okay. You don't know who Orcus is? I'm a bad DM. You don't know Orcus. Orcus, he rules the 666 plane of the abyss. She knows. And the wand of Orcus is, when touched you die. You know, there's no save, no magic resistance. He just kills you if he
I
hits
don't
you.
think you've ever brought him into a campaign before.
No, not yet. No.
Yeah.
Jubilix, he says. The faceless one. Or she says. Balzable. Gem and crystal dragons of all sorts, forgotten in ancient elder gods, or they claim to be gods, but they are not our queen. And when I say queen, I do not mean that I follow her as my queen, but she is a queen. Like many of you might be queens, or gods, or goddesses, or demigods, whatever it is that you are. Archdevils, things of these natures. We are beings of greater might and power. If you are present, that is what you are. Make no mistakes. Goldar is your enemy if you are present. The paladins and the bright lords are already planning their scourge across the south. We have learned that their war plans are not to turn the south to ash. Their war plans are to change the south. The way everyone thinks. They will try to bring them to their law, their goodness, and their neutrality. But we know better. They will continue to destroy the north, turn it to ash, until we stop them. So, the cult of Tiamat is asking for all the armies that are available from any of you. Join in this fight. Help us rid Bahamut. Let us send the bright one back where he belongs. It is the heavens he comes from. If he does not stop, perhaps we should go there. Perhaps we should destroy his home. Any warriors and armies present and available and wish to take on this task with us, please let us know. To the heavens we go. I, Orishkago, and I have spoken. She turns and walks away into the crowd.
I did too.
Gordon goes, what? And suddenly you become aware of the peers in this room. You're like, oh shit. The very vibration of the room changes when she says that. And you can feel that there are others that were shocked by that.
Looked Orishkago in the eyes and walked past her.
She moves over into the crowd and through the crowd where the chairs are, and you see there's an open chair, and she sits down. And everybody's kind of standing and looking around the circle at each other. When Rishkago sits down, another lady stands up, moves to the middle of the room and takes off her cloak and her mask. And you see the Queen of the North, Vela, Coruscant, the bitch of pain. And she just kind of walks up and tosses the mask onto the ground right next to her. And she goes, there's no need for me to hide. Most of you know whom I am. And most of you have already spoken with me in one way or another. I bring the vote up. Do we attack the heavens? Those that are opposed. And she turns, kind of looks around her. You see this rather large demon-like figure kind of hold his hand up like in opposition. And that's it. Do you guys raise your hand?
Do I feel like I could divinate with my orb from here? Or do I have to be touching it?
You gotta be touching it.
Let's see why I don't see why I would oppose. I'll say that.
And those four, she says. You see the 25-foot tall being go like that. Two individuals that are obviously male. They're in full plate male as well. One's 5'6", and the other's about 6'5". And they're sitting next to each other, and they raise their hand for her. Orishkago raises her hand. And then the bitch of pain raises her hand. She puts it down like that, and she raises her hand.
As they're all raising their hands, also look through them like
Jesus.
I don't see why not.
Can we go to Spain or
No, that's not how that works. You better hurry.
There are still 2 votes, she says. You may abstain from voting if you wish. The matter seems to be already voted for.
Doesn't matter what we do, it doesn't. So should we raise our hands or no?
So in abstaining, very well. It is 4. This council has agreed that we will attack them in the heavens. It seems the Prime is already lost and all the minions are here. As a general, I agree with the statement. As your queen, those of you that follow me, my sadness is already at its fullest from what has already happened. So many lost, and I fear my city is next. I would call upon those that would join their troops with those that already have to help protect our city. She looks around. No one?
Say that again. I don't say that out loud.
She would call upon those that would help protect their city with troops. She looks around. Besides those that already have, she says.
Right.
Which you guys have an alliance, but you haven't, there are no troops there. She doesn't ask for troops.
Yeah.
At this point, one of the individuals that voted no against attacking him, the only one, he raises his head up and you see a bird-like face underneath this hood. And he says, "It will be a mistake. That is why I said no. But it doesn't matter. The vote has already come to fruition. You may bring your minions to 1001 closets if you wish. Of course, but you will not be queen there." She's like, "I do not want to bring my troops or my people to the abyss." "Well, I have nothing to offer, just the suggestion." "Thank you." You see his head kind of go back down. "Very well. Then it will seem that the moment, and right about then, you guys see bright, shining lights that are pillars that come through the ceiling and onto the floor at the center of this chamber. Several of them. And you see paladins standing there. Some of them have wings with halos. You see these bird-like creatures just flying in the air, and they're generating goodness and light. And about 75% of what's in the room teleports or disappears. Like escapes, like gets the fuck out of Dodge. And I'm gonna need initiatives, but that is where we're gonna stop for this evening. And when we start next time, it will be the battle with these angelic beings, with those present that are in the room, which I will let you know when we start, who all still left that you see. Thank you for coming and watching. This is Original GM. Heaven has fallen.
There's a gift inside your God's granted me, a vision of the way to change reality. In the shadows creeping, get rest, you will be here. No time for you to sleep now. are you?